Hi, Virgo. You guys have been so patient waiting for this reading, and I appreciate that. I mean, obviously, it's been the holidays. Things have been a little bit crazy. The energy has been very interesting. A lot of clearing that's been going on. So I appreciate your guys' patience. I know that everybody's really excited to get the energies for 2021. I am doing all of the forecast readings on the members for the memberships. So if you'd like to see the forecast readings, I've just got them started now, but they will be done by the end of the week. So if you're interested in seeing what the forecast for 2021 will be for Virgos, you can find that over in the memberships. You can either click join, and it's all levels. Every level of memberships is going to get that forecast for you guys. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the astrology. So we have this, Saturn and Jupiter stuff that's going on in Aquarius, and that is going to be a very, really paying attention to your schedule. Really, we had the conjunction that happened in December. And so this probably already helped create a new plan, helped you revise a new plan moving forward. But looking at a long-term kind of productive plan is really what would be best for you. Also, super pay attention to your health right now. Make sure you're getting plenty of rest. That's one of the things that I've really had to focus on, is making sure that I'm getting plenty of rest, because it can catch up on you. Like, it can easily creep up on you. Mars is moving into Taurus. Venus is moving into Capricorn. They are going to meet and have a sweet little interaction in the coming week, actually. And this is going to really help with the confidence boost. This is going to help move things forward a little bit. Venus in Capricorn, it's time for you guys to have some fun. It's time for you guys to really enjoy life a little bit. And I know that it's probably not the easiest time frame to do something like that, but your mental capacity is going to be amazing. Mercury is moving into Aquarius. You're going to have a lot of really great insight, because the house that Aquarius rules for you guys is the 6th house, which is actually your house, right? The Virgo house is the 6th house. So it's going to feel a little bit more peaceful. You might feel a little scattered towards the middle of January as we get closer to Aquarius season. You might feel a little bit scattered, and it's really just about resetting your energy and allowing yourself to reset your energy. The new moon in Capricorn, I really want you guys to ask yourself for the new moon in Capricorn that's happening on the 13th. I really want you guys to ask yourself what it is that you want out of life to find joy. Like, what it is that you need to find joy out of life. What it is that you need to find that thing that you've been searching for, the thing that you've really been longing and desiring. So that instead of longing and desiring, you can manifest it into a reality, right? But yeah, really focusing on the things that are fun for you, really focusing on having a good time. And like I said, I know that it's a little bit different. Like, things have just been kind of unbalanced, right? There's a hair that keeps tickling me, and I think it's still attached to my head, so I can't pull it out, but whatever. Yeah, really just finding that balance that you guys need in order to feel grounded and feel safe. Having Mars in Taurus and having Venus in Capricorn is going to feel really, really good to your energy. So I would like for you guys to take advantage of that stuff and just get productive and do what you do best. Maybe not focus your attention so much on other people right now. Really focus your attention on yourself and what it is that you need to do. Obviously, like the significant others in your life and the kids in your life and your spouses and relationships and stuff, obviously they need some of your attention too. But when you are focusing on yourself and you're really paying attention to your path and your journey and your goals, it's a lot easier to be of service to other people because you feel good. That can, rub off on other people as well. So pay attention to that in January and make sure that you're resting when you can. And because we've got a lot of work to do this year, Virgo. We have a lot of work to do this year. If you didn't get an opportunity to take the Manifesting 101 workshop in November or December, we're offering that January 30th, which is funny because it's the first day of Mercury retrograde, and everybody's like, well, why did you do that? Because we start the pre-shadow mid-month for the Mercury retrograde. But yeah, people are like, you did that on the first day of Mercury retrograde, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to prove that we can manifest even through a retrograde. Oh man, what a concept. So if you'd like to join me, the Manifesting 101 course is really about feeling good, about all the things that are going on, feeling better about life, feeling better about being productive, feeling better about moving in new directions. Yes, you can also manifest your life when you feel really good and you feel better about the directions that you're moving in. And so I want to show you guys how to do that. I want to show you how I learned how to manifest my own life and everything that I wanted. 2020 was the year that I got everything that I wanted, right? And so, and it was not without effort and not without patience, but how amazing is that like one of the hardest years that we've been hit with, I was able to create, so I want to show you guys how I was able to do that, because I think that there's a really big misconception out there that we have to be miserable during this time, and we absolutely don't have to be miserable at all. In fact, if we just surrendered a little bit. I love this reading that's coming out. Let's get 2 more cards and let's start talking. So the first card that came out, this is exactly what I was talking about, Virgo, because this month is not about how much you can do, but it's about how much you can allow yourself to surrender and let the universe work for you as well, Okay, so here we go. Interesting how I said I love this reading, and then you guys were like, oh, wow, wait. How about not love it so much? So the first card that came out was the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man puts himself in this position so that he can get a different perspective on things, so he can look at things in a different kind of way. A lot of times, and especially with if you have a lot of Virgo energy or significant placements, Virgo placements, right? We tend to hustle. And we don't realize that within the rest, a lot of work gets done during the times of rest as well. So really paying attention to your energy levels. So then we have the 4 of Wands, and then here you are showing up very proudly as the King of Pentacles. 9 of Wands, and here's where it gets a little hairy. 3 of Swords, Queen of Cups. So there's a water sign here. This could also be you. You could be feeling that emotion and logic, that tug of war, right? And when we feel that tug of war, and that may be why you need to take a pause moment. That may be why you need to allow yourself to take a step back and look at things differently, because feels like there is a surrendering to a trigger or triggers, or there is a healing. There's some healing, there's some necessities, right? Some healing necessities that are needed. And what's really interesting with this 3 of Swords is the feeling that I'm getting is that this isn't happening in January. This has already happened. The pain, and it's almost just acknowledging and accepting that it existed. And now it's time to stitch it all up. Now it's time to patch it, right? It's not about putting a Band-Aid on it, because when we put a Band-Aid on the wounds, they can reopen. This is about really making sure that wound is healing properly. And it's not the time to re-trigger yourself, or it's not, you know, and a lot of times when we're exhausted, we can easily re-trigger ourselves because our ego gets in the way and we tell ourselves all the reasons why we should be more productive than we actually are right now, you know? So allowing yourself to take a paused moment and reset your energy. And even if you have to do it over and over again throughout the day, that's better than sitting in that gunk, you know, and reminding yourself of who you are. Even if you have to write, like, I used to have Post-it notes all over the place, especially when I worked in an office. When I was in a cubicle, I would have Post-it notes, and they would have just like little sayings, like positive mantras or positive sayings, like, you know, smiling takes less energy than frowning, and, you know, just silly things like that. But it really got me through my day, and it reminded me to always come back into the present moment. So even before I was doing this, when I was in the office, I was trying to create those present moment, you know, mindfulness tactics in order to get me through the day. So reminding yourself that, and see, here's the thing is, the universe often provides us with everything that we need when we relax. And not even often, every single time. This is something that I've really had to learn, because having so much Virgo energy, we feel like if we're not doing something, if we're not being of service in some way, shape, or form, then we're useless. Then what's the point, right? What's the point of me even existing if I don't have anything that's going to make me feel like I'm of service, like I'm of use, right? That Ace of Pentacles on the Hanged Man, the universe is already showing you the gift. The universe is already providing for you. You just have to allow yourself to be receptive. And that's why there's that pause there, right? You could be dealing with a Scorpio or even a Pisces energy with this water sign down here. There's something that is changing within your home life. There's something that's changing within your structure right now and your stability, but the transformational process that has to happen is more like a trial by fire, if you will. It's growth that's happening with that, right? And the Four of Wands isn't necessarily just the structure, but or like the safety and the security and the grounding structure, but it's also how you feel and value your own sense of stability, your own sense of structure. And so there's a lot of things that are going on with our home lives right now that we have to really pay attention to, how things are shifting and how things are changing, because it's not so much that we need to hang on to everything that feels like if we don't have control, we need to like reach and grasp and hang on to things. You don't need to do that. What is for you will always be for you. And there could also be something that's ending with your home life, but it feels more like a transfer. It feels more like a transition. So it could be that you're moving. It could be that you are changing locations, but it could also just be the way that you are receiving the energy within your home as well. Like really look at that kind of, oh, I love this card that just came out for the King of Pentacles, baby. This is so good. See, the shift is happening. Whether you can see it or not, there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes right now that we can't actually visualize in reality at the moment. And I think that's a fear for Virgos, because if we can't see it happening, if we can't see the destination, or we can't see how it's going to happen, that scares us, because we don't feel like we have control over it. But I guarantee you have more control over the situation by surrendering to the divine timing of it all. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is. When you surrender to the divine timing of it all, the creation happens. Because the universe is like, but you've already got it planned. You already have it laid out. You already know what it is that you want to see from this. Now let me take care of the rest. You don't have to do it all. I know, isn't that a weird concept? You don't have to do it all. You can be receptive to the energy instead of feeling like you have to be the one that has your hands in everything. So and this is exactly what I was saying. The moon on the 9 of Wands, just because you don't know, just because you can't see it. The moon is about the things that we can't see. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's really glaring. I feel like it's because I have a window. The blinds are open so the sun can come in. So the moon on the 9 of Wands, just because we can't see it happening, just because we don't have the destination, doesn't mean that we need to fear it. Surrendering releases the fear. Surrendering to loving yourself. You're like, surrendering to what, Betsy? Surrendering to your energy, surrendering to the present moment, surrendering to the knowledge that you're being very divinely guided and taken care of. And there's really no such thing as hustle. I mean, if you want to, you can absolutely force and hustle, but I would rather just see you do all the work that you can. Because the thing with Virgos is we're overachievers. We like to go above and beyond, right? And especially if it's something that we want to do. Now, it's a different case if it's something we don't necessarily want to do, because then it's just procrastination city. But when it's something that we really want, and it's something that we really want to do, we put all of our energy into it, we put all of our time into it, and then we exhaust ourselves. So instead of doing that, take an opportunity and take a moment and allow yourself to shift with the energy instead of shifting against it, or instead of trying to always make it be something more than it actually is. Let's see what the 3 of Swords is. Very interested about this card because I feel like there's actually, whoa, the healing that's happening through it. Now, remember, Virgo, oh, here we are, okay. You will not be able to ignore the pain, okay? You can try and bury yourself in work and give your energy to just working, to ignore that there's healing that needs to be done, right? The 6 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles on the 3 of Swords. You can bury yourself in the healing work, or in the work that you're doing, and ignore the healing process. But I guarantee you it's going to come back. That pain, that trigger, that wound will show up again. So if you, instead of focusing so much on work and trying to ignore the pain, which we're absolutely good at, right? Like shutting ourselves off. That's how earth signs work, right? We shut ourselves down and we're like, nope, I'm stronger than this. But did you know that allowing yourself to feel the wound, allowing yourself to feel the trigger, allowing yourself to succumb to the energy and releasing and purging it, that's actually healthier for you than shutting down. It's actually stronger than shutting down. It's actually, you'll feel more free if you allow yourself to succumb to the wound so that you can heal it. But don't ignore the trigger. Don't try and work yourself to death because you've been triggered. Let's see what this Queen of Cups is. Could be a water sign that's triggering you. It could be the water sign that's triggering you because you're unsure of them. So we have the Knight of Wands. This could also mean, if you're showing up as the Queen of Cups, this could also mean that you are unsure of your own emotions. I don't even know how I really feel, but that Knight of Wands is that kind of energy that's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, right? You don't have to know how it's all going to go down. And so, ooh, look at this. Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right, so let's look at this first. So that Taurus energy has you all up in a bind. The Hierophant and the Nine of Swords, if you're really freaking out over a Taurus energy, or you're really anxious over a Taurus energy right now, you know, I guarantee you that messing with a Taurus in this moment is probably not such a good idea, because they're having to deal with a lot of energies in January that not a lot of us are dealing with, because their energy is squaring off with Saturn and Jupiter right now. So I would not get into an argument with a Taurus. They're sort of on a rampage. If that isn't a specific Taurus, then the concern for commitment, the concern for leveling up, you don't have to sit. If you're not sleeping at night, it's really time to get back in touch with your higher self. If you're not sleeping at night, it may, because your mind is racing and racing and racing, you may need to do meditations. We do that stuff over in the memberships as well. If you haven't become a member yet, come join. I mean, like, we do so much stuff over in the memberships that it's very, it's not just about the readings. It's about the healing process. It's about the leveling up process. And if that's what you feel like you're called to do this month when you're so anxious, right? I'm going to suggest that, because it's easier to meditate your cares and worries away than it is to try and force it or to overthink it away, right? 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. The money is coming. Really pace yourself when it comes to work. Don't try and don't get yourself stuck in a mindset that you have to feel boxed in. Like, don't feel boxed in within that mindset. I do think that there's a lot of stuff that's going to be opening up for Virgos when it comes to work and projects moving forward, but we don't want to rush it. Like, these are things that are going to be developed and long-term gains, right? Long-term money, long-term gains. And we can't, if you try and rush it and force it in January, it's all just going to kind of like fizzle out, right? Like, you don't want to push it. You don't want to rush it. You need to allow things to grow gradually, and don't hold on to expectations. That 4 of Pentacles is like, don't hold on to the expectations. I promise you, the energy is moving very, very quickly. The 8 of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. The last 2 cards we have is the 7 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. Honestly, you guys, we can easily sabotage ourselves if you really want to, and you want to go back to how you've been so deceived and how you haven't been treated properly in your life and how you're so disrespected. Like, sure, you can easily sabotage yourself and make yourself feel like you're not good enough, have that lack mentality, and drag yourself back into this 9 of Swords and this thought process, and, oh man, what is everybody going to think? What is everybody going to say? You can absolutely do that if you want to, or you can just be patient. You know? It's not about being perfect. It really isn't. It's not about being a perfectionist. It's not about everything falling into place exactly the way that you want it to fall into place. It's about what's going to be best for you, what is going to be for your best and highest good, and what's going to be for the best and highest good for everybody who's involved, right? So don't try and force the situations in January, Virgo, because things can get rocky. If you do, you will absolutely sabotage it, and the universe is trying to show you that now is not the time to freak out about things not going like in your way, right? If you have expectations of the way you'd like for things to look, and it doesn't necessarily look like that, the universe has some surprises for us this year. So don't get too caught up in your mental games, those crazy mental games that we do to ourselves. Really quick, January 8th is the last day that you can get 20% off all of my readings. And you can schedule directly, the description box is below. You can get 20% off all the readings up until January 8th. After that, my schedule is going to be very few and far between readings coming out. So take advantage now. I would love to see you guys in the memberships as well. We have so much fun there. A lot of Discord discussions, a lot of things going on. And it's just a wonderful family to be a part of. So I'd love to see you there. You can join on Patreon or you can join through YouTube in just below here with the button. I love you guys. Have a wonderful January and I'll see you soon. Bye.